Good evening, friends. Thank you for joining us on 13 Plus. I'm Mary Coleman, joined by meteorologist Corey Kowitz for a look at what's going on out there, Corey.
Yeah, monsoon is wow. I mean, we've had some storms. I mean,
It's been a wild
Sunday
one.
was crazy. I mean, we had a tornado warning and we had the power get knocked out, and we were on a still image for about 10 minutes.
Oh, here.
Yes.
Oh, wow. I didn't even
It
know
was-
that.
It was kind of crazy. But yeah, unfortunately, we did have a lot of damage. We love monsoon for the rain, but obviously the drawback is some of the damage from how strong the storms can be.
Sure.
Whether that's winds, the dust storm, hail,
Yeah.
as well as flash
Yeah.
flooding, and we've unfortunately seen that come to fruition. But luckily, rainfall is well above average here across the region. Everyone is above average. I'd also like to add Nogales' site has been down for the last 5 days, so I've approximated the amount of rainfall they've had, and yeah, really everyone is a good deal above average here. So doing good in the rainfall department today. A pretty down day for monsoon storms, but we haven't really seen them fizzle out like we normally start to do by this time later in the afternoon as we head into the evening hours. We have a storm going on off to the west of Tucson, pushing about from the east to west there, as well as a little system to the north of the Catalinas near San Manuel. A little shower and storm activity trying to bubble up there in Cochise County, with most of the action up there to our north. Nothing severe with any of these storms. So the reason why we're not seeing a ton of storm activity is large part to do with the fact that high pressure is pretty close to us, and well, high pressure is just an area of sinking air, and obviously you need lifting air up vertically up through the atmosphere, so that kind of chokes it off a little bit, which is why we had a little bit of a down storm day, like I said. So here's what's going to happen tomorrow. Things are going to change. High will shift a little bit to our west. That'll redirect flow here, coming now from the north and east to the south and west, and that'll create a rim shot pattern. That's what we call it, coming from the higher elevations of the Mogollon Rim. Storms moving from the northeast to the southwest. The biggest threat with this are strong outflow winds, so that starts tomorrow. You can see that pattern persist through the weekend with the position of that high still to our north and west, really through the middle of next week. So here's what that rim shot pattern is. High pressure position to our west or north and west. Storm movements. This is going to be from tomorrow through next week or middle of next week. Storms will move from the northeast, the higher elevations, to the southwest, to the lower elevations at a pretty fast rate. Storms will be moving pretty quick, and the main threats is with that downward acceleration going from higher to lower elevations, that can generate very strong storm outflow winds. So let's track out those storm chances. Really a lot higher tomorrow, and that'll be the case through the weekend. 40-50% chances in Tucson, 70-80% chances to the south and southeast in a place like Sierra Vista. Like I said, that'll start as early as tomorrow. Let's track out that first alert future radar, and let's track it out through the evening. We're not really done with those storms. Like that projection at 10 o'clock actually has things getting a little more active during that time, and then finally begins to really fizzle out when we get to the overnight early morning hours, until we wait for the next batch, which looks to be a little bit more widespread than what we saw today, by the early afternoon hours through the later afternoon through the evening hours as well, and really through the overnight hours. I mean, that's noon, or not noon, midnight, which shows more shower than storm activity, but still hanging around and kind of takes still the overnight hours tomorrow night through Friday morning for things to fizzle out. So higher storm chances tomorrow at a 50% chance in Tucson, a 70% chance in Sierra Vista. So that'll be storm chances tomorrow through tomorrow evening and night. Monsoon meter out of 5 out of 10 for tomorrow, with that rim shot pattern forming, with storms coming from the north and east. Main concerns: strong winds, blowing dust, and flash flooding. Here's those current temps: 102 in Tucson, 107 in Phoenix, 91 in Sierra Vista. We'll see seasonably warm / cool lows tonight into tomorrow morning, getting down to 81 in Tucson, 73 Sierra Vista, 72 Nogales, and 76 in Sierra Vista, with a slightly hotter day tomorrow. 108 will be your high temperature, 110 in Casa Grande, 98 in Sierra Vista, 106 in Safford, as we have it for tomorrow. Kind of toasty through the weekend region-wide here, with temperatures not quite getting that 110 level, but 105 or higher in a place like Tucson, with Phoenix no stranger to those 110s. They'll be sticking in that range through that time as well. So here's that 7-day forecast, Mary. Just a really textbook monsoon 7-day with pretty hot and muggy conditions, with pretty much storms in and around the region each and every day, scattered about through the middle of next week.
Perfect. I think everyone here will take it.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Corey. I'll be sure to join us for 13 News Live at 10 for more of your weather forecast. But hey, as promised, I know we told you that we had a story for you, so here it is. The Federal Trade Commission is warning Americans of the risk of scammers pretending to be from government agencies and demanding money from them. In this Watching Your Wallet, consumer investigator Carice Jackman has an exclusive interview with FTC officials about the red flags and how you can spot a government imposter.
It often starts with a call, email, text, or social media message. A person claiming to be from a government agency, asking for money or your personal information.
How frustrating is it for you to know that a scammer is impersonating your government organization?
It's very frustrating. It's not at all flattering.
Lois Greisman with the Division of Marketing Practices at the Federal Trade Commission says new data reveals that government impersonation scams are climbing and scammers are getting smarter, now asking people to send cash.
And the crazy part is people often don't think that they're going to ask for cash. You hear about gift cards, you hear about other forms of payment, Bitcoin, but cash?
Cash, yes, it's surprising, but there has been a 90% increase in cash payments paid out to government impersonation scammers from 2022 to 2023. Anyone who asks you to pay by cash, absolute red flag, discontinued contact.
Are we talking about $10, $15, $20,000?
No, we're talking about thousands of dollars. In fact, the median loss, strikingly, $14,740. That is just amazing.
And for a person, when you lose that type of money, I mean, for some people, that's a life savings. They've spent years building up to that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. These are life savings. When we've seen losses as much as $20,000, $30,000 a person, it can be their entire retirement account.
Greisman says scammers want cash because it's hard to track.
Scammers want anonymity. And these payment methods leave very little paper trail, very hard for consumers to get their money back, and it makes it that much more challenging for law enforcement to follow the money.
To put a stop to government impersonators, numerous federal agencies, including the FTC, FBI, IRS, and Social Security Administration, are spreading the word to raise awareness about this growing scheme. They want you to remember that government agencies will never call, text, or message you on social media to ask for money or personal information, and they will never demand payment. Only a scammer will do that. Greisman says if you are targeted by a government impersonation scam, report it to the FTC at reportfraud.ftc.gov.
It is critical to report scams, whether you've lost money or not. This information goes into a big database that law enforcement nationwide, not just the FTC, but the FBI, Postal Inspection Service, state attorneys general, they all have access to that database. They can identify trends. They can identify targets. Reporting is critical.
With this Watching Your Wallet, I'm Carice Jackman.
Reported losses to government impersonation scammers across all forms of payment reached $618 million last year. That's up from $487 million in 2022 and $428 million in 2021. Here's a live look from our Mount Bigelow cam. We hope you're having a great week so far. And again, hope you'll join us for more news and weather on 13 News Live at 10. We'll see you then.